Welcome to the
It's great
PropShow.
new personal brand, honestly.
Love it. So who
I'm
started?
a professional.
You're a professional. Who started? Should we let Matt start?
We'll let Matt start.
Matt, so you have to welcome people to the PropShow.
Welcome everybody to the PropShow.
This week,
This is my first time.
Episode
seven. Sponsored by
Wando.
No. Roll them titles.
Okay, so the Wando glasses have arrived.
Glasses over glasses.
That's made my week. The Wando glasses arriving. Wando. So that's cool. So
Matt, you get to keep those Wandos.
Matt can take a pair away.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Wando.
Which is great. So yeah, that's.
We're not endorsing them in the slightest, but we love Wandos.
We love the glasses.
Come on then.
So
for the two people in the world that don't know who Matt Giggs is, how do you?
Look who we got.
Who am I? Who am I?
who are you?
So I'm an estate agent, really.
Okay.
That's for 23 years, and I've grown to 6'1", and
Excellent.
I've grown a fantastic estate agency group, which is called the Giggs Group. But we're growing different brands: Giggs & Co, Giggs & Bell, Nuna Giggs, Signature Homes, Giggs & McGrath. Obviously, it's not about significance and having my name.
I think you ought to call it Giggs Signature. Was everything else got Giggs in, hasn't it?
Gigs, exactly. And I train and speak and coach and mentor business owners of estate agencies. So I prefer to specialise in leadership.
Leadership, good stuff. Good
So
stuff.
you've got Matt and I and Chris. 2 Matts and 2 Chris's today. So Chris, Matt, Chris. We follow your personal power group online. I take a lot out of that. I know that a lot of people do. Certainly,
It's a Facebook group,
Closed group on Facebook.
Around Monday,
Bit like landlord
Monday-ish
farming.
time. Not that I ever get out of bed thinking, oh shit, Monday. But like, I take a lot from it. How important do you think that is for people in the agency? And what's your kind of plan for that group?
Right, so the group's about 10 months, 11 months, something like that. And there's about 700 members.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And
short
to be fair, Chris was quite right in criticising the amount of content that I put in there, which is
Well, we're going to change it to the name of Chris Watkins' second group.
Absolutely, it is. It's the Landlord Farming Group Mark II. But to me, everything I think boils down to beliefs, self-motivation, mindset. You know, before you talk about anything in our industry in terms of challenges, it all starts there. If you feel really confident and really great about what you do and you believe in what you're doing, you will smash it. Full stop.
Who's ringing?
Who's ringing?
Whose phone's
And
that?
it's not mine.
It's not mine either.
It's not mine.
It's not mine.
Do you think it might be mine?
Dun, 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 dun. We got a live call on the show.
No, go on, give me that.
See who it is.
It could be a
You
sale.
can answer
I
it.
shall go and get another look, see who it
It
is.
could be a sale. Okay.
Hold on.
You never know.
You never know.
Never not answer
Who is
new
it?
business.
Who is it? Who is it? Who's calling the show?
But yeah, so you prefer leadership and that style of mentoring and
I think to make us bigger, so self-leadership is a big thing. So
It was Barack Obama.
Trump's on the phone.
Yeah.
So in terms of you were talking about your group, your gigs and company, and the group. So you just opened a new.
So I left Countrywide 6.5 years ago as a director, leading director across the country. Had a really good team. Decided to go it alone because I got fed up being managed. Yeah. I got let. Well, basically, I fell out of the corporate world not because I dislike Countrywide. It was more a case that I didn't believe in their strategy of working with their teams. I believe in getting the best out of people and getting people to feel at their best, and then things tend to take care of themselves, you know. So, and that's what we've done, and we've grown an amazing business off the back of it. We've won various awards, but more importantly, people in the teams have achieved various goals like buying houses, having more vacations, and just having an environment where it's fun. And I think estate agency is fun, and I think it should be fun. And you know,
and you're having fun.
Follow that. And,
Yeah, Countrywide. How are those shares doing, Christoph?
Well, they're bubbling along quite nicely at around 10p.
yeah.
Maybe we should tell the people why we have that joke.
How much did you buy them at, Chris?
About 52p.
Yes,
There you go.
they'll come back.
Bloody better.
So obviously you've just opened a new, or not opened a new, but you're now got Gigs and McGrath.
Yeah, we've just opened in St Ives, Cambridgeshire. They're in their second full month, and their first full month in the location. So they've done a month outside, 10 miles down the road, 12 miles down the road, and they've done extremely well. They've sold 12 properties, 13 properties. They've listed.
Love that video you did.
40. Yeah.
Good.
Do you know? This is what a great agency office looks like. They smile.
Yeah.
Right? There you go.
Yeah.
Do you remember smile when you dial?
Yes.
Well, that's what we're all about. We're all about positivity, and don't get me wrong, you're going to get challenges. Challenges are there for a reason. They're to help you grow your business. And for me, having the right people in the environment, having a very clear vision about what we expect is really working. It worked at Giggs and Bell, who opened 18 months ago, and it certainly worked at Giggs and Co. So yeah, it's a good time.
So what does the future look like for Giggs and Company, other than bright and orange?
Well, look, so for example,
we have to put the glasses on.
We've got well, we teamed up.
Bright future.
It's a bright future.
It's not that bright. No, we teamed
Well,
up.
we talked about this actually.
Yeah,
Carry
yeah.
on. Yeah, go on. Crack on.
We've teamed up with some amazing people. So, for example, one of the biggest things over the last 12 months, one of the biggest achievements was teaming up with a lady called Joanne Noonan of Noonan Crane. She worked in the same town. She grew an amazing property management company with over 200 managed properties, and we got talking a year or so ago and decided that we'd put our two property management companies together and called it Noonan Giggs. A lot of thought went into that.
Of course, yeah.
Massive challenges, putting two teams, two different groups of people together, two different beliefs.
Yeah.
But it's helped
What was
us.
her motivation?
I think Joanne was very dependent in the business, so she felt very much consumed by. She couldn't take vacations, breaks quite so readily, and she wanted to have more freedom. She's on her second holiday as we speak at the moment, since we've been, in fact, no, probably her third. So she's quite happy with it.
Is she like you, Matt? She'll turn the phone off?
She will, yeah. I think
Which is a skill in itself.
Yes, massively. She couldn't do that before. She was a decision maker and the only person in there. So she's now got a team in there of people that she trusts, or we have, and I think that was the first step. So we've literally put two teams together and created what I would consider to be an amazing group.
What lessons have you learned? Because let's be honest, I know it wasn't an acquisition, but to all intents and purposes, it was in terms of bringing two sets of books together. What have you learned that you could share with the people out there about acquisitions and integration?
First of all, be better prepared. I think there's a lot of sort of moving different accounts and across, and just doing those various things is quite challenging in itself. But more so on moving different beliefs into one area.
From the two managers.
You've got to remember, Joanne and I are very different, but we are also quite similar. The reason why we joined up is because our values and our integrity is the same. But we have different ways of doing business. And what you have with Joanne's existing team, who still work within the group, and my existing team that work within the group, you just have different ways of doing things. So understanding that actually there are different ways of working together and formulating a team based on having different strengths in there and putting people actually into the right places in those teams.
What would you do differently this time if you did to do it again?
I would make sure that we were better prepared on the challenges that we might be faced with. So, for example, if you're moving different property managers into an organisation that have never had contact with her, so you were a Giggs and Co landlord, and you were a Noonan Crane landlord, how I managed you, and then all of a sudden I'm being given somebody else. Having a clear standards of what that landlord should receive, because they were different at different companies, we could have dealt with that a lot quicker, a lot sooner.
So
Process, but having a very clear vision, having a very clear expectation and a description of what we're here to do for each of our landlords, so everybody knew that there was a bit of both combined, but it was a bit, whose is that one, whose is my one, and there was a good 3 months of system challenges.
Should have brought in JP.
Big JP, yeah.
Well, do you know what? From a distance, I think John Paul.
He's on the show next week.
What was the place, was it here in Grantham? There was a
at the landlord farming conference.
Woods.
Yeah.
I listened to John Paul, and he was
He's
amazing.
amazing.
And his
That was a Geordie accent.
Candy bent their leg.
he's building businesses
Oh.
off of the foundations,
Yeah.
the systems and processes.
Yeah.
And I think what we've built our businesses off the back of are having great people, training, trust, skills, etc., building beliefs. But that's just one part of it. And I think what we've introduced in the last 12 months, certainly starting to put these things together, is building a better business foundation.
Yeah. Well, you've been chatting with Matt, haven't you, in more detail?
Oh, I'll tell you what, my throat box is as dry as the bottom of a badger's cage. If there wasn't...
That old
Badger's
chestnut.
cage.
Shall we have a little look at
The Badger's
a
Cage?
bit of the Badger's Cage?
Yeah.
A bit of an interview. A bit
Welcome
of your...
to the Badger's
Badger's cage.
No, I
didn't know Badger had a
I don't
cage,
know. What did
Well, so what? Register it. Badgerscage.com.
Badger's Cage. I don't know.
Don't ever Google that.
Google that. But yeah, should we have a bit of an interview, a bit of a look at the
Yeah,
interview?
a couple of minutes. Yeah, let's have a look.
When you get a phone call from someone to say, I've tried what you've done and it's changed my life,
Yeah, it's huge.
it's massive.
Yeah.
So that's what so just enjoy the journey, mate.
I think, do you know what? And I think there's a lot to be said about what we're doing. It's great, and it's more than enough. There's nothing wrong with that. If we're enjoying it and we're having fun, it's funny what might come off the back of it, rather than the deliberate. Oh, I need to have this, or it needs to be by then, and sometimes. What you put in place there is the falseness across the journey. Then there's this pressure, and you become less authentic. What you're doing at the moment with what I feel you're doing now with the interviews is it fits like a glove for you. You can see it. It's where you are a great interviewer, or you ask questions and you're fun and you've got a good connection with the people that you talk to, and I think it's important.
The interesting thing is that I'm actually teaching people how to interview, and it's both hard and simple.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people, what I've learnt is not to try and come up with the question whilst you're listening to the answer.
Yes.
That is really hard.
Yes.
So I have no idea what the hell I'm going to say to you.
Which puts the pressure on, but it's a good pressure.
And what this is an interesting thought, is that I've worked with an agent in Berkshire where we've actually interviewed homeowners on their journey of, they chose an online agent or a rubbish agent, and their journey of why they bought the house, why they went with that original agent, why the poo hit the fan, and how this new agent came in and saved them.
Yes, the hero.
The hero's journey video. And they are so powerful.
Yeah. I think so, and I think the more we make the vendors heroes as well.
Definitely. It's not about us. It's not about us.
I think it's interesting though, and I like I said, you've been doing this for what, a year? You still working with John?
In a kind of like, he mentors me and I mentor him.
Yes.
Yeah, we do marketing. I help him with his marketing.
Yeah.
And he helps me when we meet up every 2 months. He puts me in the right direction.
Good. No, good for you. But I can see what you're doing, and it suits you down to the ground.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.
No,
So that's quite exciting.
You two tend to chat well together, it seems.
Yeah, it seems that when you put two influences in a room together, they
I don't like that phrase.
I know you don't like that phrase. So it's time for a cheeky Ask the Prop Show. So
Well, where's the fares?
Where's the fares?
Okay.
Hey!
Hey! Okay, so it's time for Ask the Prop Show. Okay, so I've got a couple of. It's yours. It's what you do every time. It's the Watkin guns. So a couple of questions for this week's show. So firstly,
Fire away, Christopher.
hang on, I just sort the tassel. Firstly, it's for Matt.
Ooh.
So
Which one?
this Matt.
I am on last week.
Unless this Matt knows how to beat cheap fee agents, but I would. So I mean,
You're gonna get things out of focus, mate.
with
Thanks,
there's a
Greg,
lot of
third.
shh.
Sorry.
Concentrate.
Sorry, Dan.
Back to video. No, not to video. Cheap fee agents. Okay, so there's a lot of chat around.
This is like a cross between
the
loose
industry.
women and property industry, isn't it?
Well, that's what you always say.
Yeah, it is.
How would you overcome cheap fee agents in your locality?
By not focusing on them first. There's so much more we can do to improve what we do and what we offer and the value that we give, that putting any energy and any thought into what the competition are doing, let alone the cheap fee agents or the online or whatever you want to call it, it really pales into insignificance. So I think where most agents fall down is they look outside of their business rather than look inside. And it's the same if you're working on yourself. You know, you've got to work on you and what goes on in your head, and that's the start of fees. I mean, if you believe in what you do, you charge it.
Yep.
If you don't, you don't. And I think if you want to charge less because you don't feel you give the value, then charge less. That's absolutely fine. And there will be a market for that.
I'm sorry, mate. I think you've been a bit happy valley there.
Yeah. Well, no, because we've had this before, haven't we, where people have basically said.
Obviously, there's some guys out there saying, if I charge that, I won't get it. So come on, how do you do it?
Why won't you get it?
We were chatting to someone on the phone, remain nameless, but in the northwest area of the country, and they were saying, Matt, Chris, we just cannot charge 2% fee. Like, I don't know what your thoughts on it are, because there's certain localities in the UK where you've done your market research, you know you can charge X percent. But in others, like, what if they literally cannot charge? They might be out of business in 6 months if they put their fees up.
Or is it a mindset thing?
Look, the first thing is, if they're saying that, their belief system's telling them exactly that. My second question is, if they ask their clients, what's more important to them? So if I asked you today, 3 completely different sellers, what is your main need from the sale of your house?
Well, it depends on my circumstance. You know, for me, if I was going to move tomorrow, probably the speed in sale. Okay. Yeah, certainly if you found another property you already want to move to.
So speed's one of the most common ones. What about yourself, Chris?
Best price.
Best price is a very popular one, and then the other one is the fee.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so if I gave you those 3 choices today, which would be the most important? So you've got the maximum value you can attain in the house, you've got the speed of the sale, and you've got the cheap fee. Okay. If you had a choice, there's 3 independent sellers, not knowing that this question was going to get asked, this is your choice, right? Which one would be your biggest priority, the most needed?
The one that was important to me.
Yeah.
Okay, which one would it be?
I'd say the highest price possible, because then if you're paying a bit more of a fee,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What if I got you an extra £10,000 and my fee was £3,000? Well, that's 2%.
Well, it wouldn't matter, would it?
Because so why would the seller not care about that?
Well, that is exactly the point.
Now look, you will have different challenges, but the biggest challenge that's going on in most agents is that what goes on between their ears.
Yeah.
It's the story, it's the conditioning, it's our market. I've been to agencies recently and they've said these exact words, you can't get that in our town. And then they've ended up putting their fees up by a significant amount, nearly double what they were charging, and they've listed more houses. Now, you can say, and I've got, if anyone wants any proof of that, I'm happy to supply that evidence.
Can we email you?
Yeah, mg@mattgigs.com. And I can give you the agents' names.
Underneath.
And I'm telling you now, it's all in your head. Find out what people need. Find out what your clients actually need. If it's best price, structure your fee around the value of the house. So from our point of view, what we want to do is deliver what the client needs, not what the business needs.
Yes.
All right?
Good.
So that's where I'd ask.
Awesome.
Okay, good.
Question 2 is for you, Mr. Watkins.
C-dubs.
So we've mentioned on the show a couple of times about the Digimare, hilariously on the Lama Farming Group.
Doggy Mare.
Not Doggy Mare.
Again, don't Google that.
Don't do that. Digimare. So, Digital Mare. We speak about these advocates of Digital Mare. Adam Mackay Saltworth, dude. Luke in Opie and Leicester. We speak about people who are actually actively doing this. Can you boil down into a relatively short answer what the essence of Digimare is, or the Digital Mare?
You as agents need the attention and the eyeballs of people to listen to what you have to say as an agent, so the name of your agency comes into their head when they need an estate agent or letting agent.
And how would you do that?
Talk about stuff they're interested in.
what our landlord's interested in.
Not you as the agent, not how big your willy is, not what your market share is, what you've sold or anything else rubbish like that.
Yield.
And these are important things, but talk about the things which interest. And I call it, it's called the BBC van test. If there was a BBC van on your high street today, everyone in your town would go on at 6:30, look east, look north, whatever, look you are, and see why that van was there.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Cool.
And therefore, what I'm saying is that if you want to grab the attention and the eyeballs of people in your locality, just like you're going on a date and you don't try and talk about yourself all night because you're not likely to get to the second date.
Yeah.
Okay. If you talk about yourself all the time, you're not likely to get their attention because no one cares about your agency. They only care about themselves.
No.
So what I'm saying is this: if you live in Leicester,
Yeah.
go and interview people who live in Leicester, the people that live there, work there, who invest there. Talk about Leicester, good news stuff, why they love it, why they love working there, living there, investing there. People will watch that, and if they watch that, you'll have their attention.
Shall we have a little bit of a more in-depth chat about that with our good friend Jeff O'Neill talking about what digital mail actually means for people?
No, because it's 11 minutes long and will bore people to death.
Okay.
So we'll cut that bit out! Honestly, it's 11 minutes long.
Do you want to have a bit of it?
No.
Because it doesn't encapsulate it.
I
Alright.
can't encapsulate it.
Fine.
Okay, all you have to do is this. We'll probably just leave all that in, actually.
Fine.
All you have to do is go and interview people in your town about the coffee shop owner, the bus drivers, the policeman, the MP,
All
everything.
positive.
Everything positive.
And people will just watch it. And next to your video about talking about something about the coffee shop is you talking about the property market. And I'll tell you here and now, let me give you some bloody numbers that will blow you away, alright? And we've done these numbers before, people still don't believe them. Michael Hollenby is doing the Born Property TV show, alright? Okay, it lasts 15 to 20 minutes long, alright? He does it every single week and he's been doing it now for 12, 16 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't boost it.
No.
Okay, every single week he does this program. It's just two of them sitting behind a desk with a mobile phone on, switching it on, alright? Population of Bourne is 17,500 people.
No, well.
The average view time is 18 minutes long.
Yeah.
The average number of viewers within 24 hours, a bad week is 3,500 views and a good view is 4,500 views. You tell me anywhere where you can get 20-30% of the population listening to you every 18 minutes every day. Don't talk about yourself, don't talk about your firm, don't talk about your services. Talk about the town and the market.
Yeah, great work, Michael. I mean,
well done. Yeah, well done, Michael, as well. Just quickly, what's going on in the property market?
Steve says it's a great time to sell.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers, Steve.
So you've got to bring that by me.
No. So that's the end of the Ask the Prop Show.
we'll do it now. It's coming on every
It's
week.
the end of the Ask the Prop Show. Last thing I want to talk about is, well, a couple of things actually. Training course coming up.
Yeah, I think we're going to get one.
We haven't got a golden plug yet.
I need a golden plug.
We need a golden plug.
We'll have one next
We'll
time.
have one.
So that's
Big thanks to one
big thanks to One Day.
Yeah, really, thanks one day. I know we were joking about it.
So we'll give those out to the guests.
You get to keep those.
You get to keep those, man.
Another one.
Leave them in the car for driving.
Wonder.
But yeah, so course is coming up 10th of September. A couple of places left.
They might have sold by
time
the
of
time.
recording.
might
There'll be a
sold.
link in the comments below.
Next one will be November-ish.
Yeah,
when we get our asses in gear.
Yes, November, and
be
then once we've got a bit more feedback, we'll be launching a new advanced course.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Also, big news, Social Sofa.
Oh yes, social
Sofa.
By the time this comes out, there will have been the very first social sofa. So let's have a little look at that live show for Landlord Farmers. So, initially what we wanted to talk about, we've had a couple of questions into the show from Landlord Farmers. So, initially it was about software.
Yeah, there have been a lot of people on the Landlord Farming Club and, like I say, phone calls and emails once people have been on one of our courses, but it's which editing software should I be using?
There you go. So, every week, any week, get your questions in, ask us what you want to ask, lenses, cameras, editing software, you name it. And we'll try and answer it live, within 10-15 minutes most
Yeah,
shows.
we'll do 10-15 minutes most shows, but obviously we can answer other questions that we don't have time for afterwards. So that's cool. So yeah.
What have you gone this week? Are you meeting any more people, Chris Watkins?
Okay, so we've got John Paul coming down to the studios this week, and we're going out for a few lager shandies.
So he's going to be on episode 8 of the Prop Show.
Good stuff.
Which is good.
I'm going to the garden centre to pick up some compost. You did ask.
I was thinking, who's he going to interview there?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
Yes,
if it
it's
was
right.
local, it would be hyper-local.
Hyper-local.
There, so.
Yeah.
There you
We've
go.
got a garden centre, pop out and interview him. But yeah, so should we thank Matt for coming along?
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for coming and being part of the Prop Show. So yeah, that just leaves us with a see you later. So see you later, guys.
Shalom!